So yeah, this is our January 2026 Wolf News Explained. So our first news release from 2026. We've released one hole from Wolf so far, and this is another 31 holes. So these are all the holes that we've drilled at Wolf, 32 holes altogether. A lot of those are directional drilling, so that really saved us a lot of meters at the beginning. But let's get into the news release here. A lot of the drilling at Wolf this year was infill, so moving back up towards the known deposit from hole 421 that we left off on last year. And if you remember, that was about a 120 meter step out with a very good intercept in that. And so we've filled in the back there and moved from the known to the unknown on the southwestern side of 421. So it was a combination of infill drilling and then stepping out. And the goal of the step out was to find where that Central Valley fault is, and that's the big fault that runs up towards Homestake Ridge. So it's underneath the sedimentary cover, so we don't know exactly where it is. But with this drilling, we found it in 2025, and we did one hole, which is sort of a hidden gem in the news release, hole 470. We did a drill hole on the other side of the fault to try and see if the Wolf vein continues, and I'll get into that later, but that was a pretty significant discovery on there. Nice surprise. So on the long section here of Wolf, we now have it defined for over a kilometer, and this is hole 421 here. And so a lot of the drilling was in between that 421 and the known, and so that was about 120 meters of infill. So a couple of holes at about 50 meter step out from the last 2024 drilling. 420 meters or 420 grams silver over 10.9 meters. And again, including those high-grade breccias over narrow intervals. So, the main interval again is that nice wide over 5 meters, between 5 and 20 meter width. So 10.9, and then the other one was 22.86 meters of 322 grams, which is about our average grade for the deposits at Wolf and Torbrit. So again, wide, amenable to underground bulk mining methods. That's what we're looking at for at Wolf here. And then as we started moving towards the west from 421, we still got some good vein intercepts of Wolf. But then those last few holes here started to see evidence that we're getting closer to the fault. So things were broken up a little bit. And then in the last few holes, we saw the fault. So this here is that Central Valley fault that runs up to Homestake. And also more significantly is it cuts past the Torbrit deposit. So it's a big regional structure. And then here is hole 470 that we drilled on the southwest side of that fault to try and follow up on where the Wolf vein might have gone across that fault. And as it turns out, we can see that this is the fault running, up from Torbrit. Torbrit's about 1.5 kilometers off of this picture here. And then you can see it in plan view. This is where the hit is on 470. And what it is I have a piece of it here that I brought back. This is this exact same style of mineralization that we see at Torbrit. Yeah. So I brought a piece of the Torbrit style mineralization that we hit in hole 470. That's on the western side of the Central Valley fault. So we didn't hit Wolf style mineralization, but this is very indicative of Torbrit, where we have these red jasperoid matrix, these very large crystals, probably barite replaced by silica. And then more significantly, right in this area, we have native silver. So this 52 centimeter sample, this is part of a 52 centimeter sample, ran 518 grams per ton silver. and that's because of the native silver in there. So this is very significant because of its similarities to the Torbrit deposit, located also on the western side of the Central Valley Fault, but further to the south. So there's enough room, enough space near this intercept that you could fit another Torbrit-sized deposit to the south of this. So we're pretty excited about it. And it's just a nice breccia. You can see all sorts of clasts in there. Again, that tells us that there's been a lot of fluid movement. More fluid movement that you have through these rocks, the more chances that those pulses bring in silver. So this is a tip of the iceberg, we hope. So this is the long section of Wolf, and a lot of our drilling in 2025 was infilling between hole 421 here and the known mineralization that we ended up with in 2024. And all of these holes in here will be added into our updated mineral resource estimate. So our current mineral resource is only this area up in here, and all of the drilling we've done since 2021, 22, and including this 2025 drilling, both in between, so we call that infill, as well as these step out holes will be included in our updated mineral resource, which we hope to have out by the end of Q1 this year or a little bit into Q2.